Hey guys, Ernie here. Welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Definitely a different video today. I really don't talk a lot about my job here on the channel, and given the current coronavirus crisis, I'm going to do kind of a different video. I'm going to give you guys an idea of what it's like being out there, my experience with it, what I think about it from the inside. I'm going to try to do as little editing as possible for this, so there might be a little bit of rambling, but that's all part of it. It's been a really long 2.5, 3 weeks, and it's not really going to end, I don't think, anytime soon. If you don't know what I do, I practice what's called traditional internal medicine. I do inpatients. I see my patients in the hospital in the mornings and then in the afternoons. Well, no, not in the afternoons. Around 10 a.m. I start clinic. I just see patients early at the hospital, and then I do clinic all day as well. So I do both. I do primary care. I'm also board certified in sleep medicine. So I do about 50% of my practice is primary care, internal medicine, and 50% is my sleep practice, sleep apnea, stuff like that. I'll also take you guys back about 6 weeks ago. My family and I went to Disney, and I got really sick. Towards the very end of our trip, I had a classic flu illness, high fevers, severe body aches. I was flu negative. And the rest of my family got a little sick, but not nearly as sick as I was. It was kind of a grade down. My daughter didn't feel great. Then my son and wife got a little ill, and I wonder, looking back now, whether or not I actually had the coronavirus. There's been a lot of discussions about that, especially out of Disney, honestly, on the internet and stuff. So maybe that's the case. Just throwing that out there for you guys. You know, a couple weeks ago, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, we started to hear some rumblings of the coronavirus. My brother, who's our managing partner, started to look at our supplies, said maybe we should order some gloves, and we did. We ordered some stuff just before it really hit, although we weren't able to get a lot of the bigger masks, like the N95 masks. I'm getting a text here, making sure it's nothing important. A lot of texts recently. A lot of texts. A lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of Zoom meetings. I'm a Zoom meeting expert now. So yeah, you know, it hit slowly. We started to get some discussions about it. We started to hear some rumblings about possible cases at our local hospitals. We have 2 regional hospitals here that we work out of. And we knew at some point that we were going to have a positive test. It was pretty much only a matter of time. I think that in the healthcare industry, we knew it was coming to almost every area. It's just a matter of when. I talked to you guys a little bit about my illness, and it's my belief that we've been seeing coronavirus infections outpatient in our patients for the last 4 to 6 weeks at least. We have many people who come in, you say, oh, you've got the flu, and then we test them for the flu, and it's flu negative. We didn't know what it was back then. Most of them, they basically all got better, but it turns out that's probably what it was. We'll never know until we can do some antibody testing, but just for you guys to know, I think it's out there a lot more than people think. And that's generally agreed upon amongst most physicians out there. If I sound a little tired, it's because I'm tired, just FYI. So over the next several days, we kind of had to go to school on the coronavirus. We're thankful that we have an infectious disease doctor in our group, and he's been tremendously helpful. This is a novel virus. I mean, coronaviruses have been around for a long time, but this particular version, the COVID-19, is new, and we had to learn a lot about it. And it's been frustrating because there's a lot of information out there. A lot of it is misinformation, which is really frustrating. We'll talk about that a little later in the video, but we had to learn what was going on, and that was all new. Then we had to figure out how to see patients safely at the office. We had to work with our local hospitals. How are we going to provide ourselves the appropriate personal protective equipment? And how are we going to get all that sorted? Throughout the day, every day, for the last 2.5 weeks, we're getting emails from the Louisiana Department of Health, some directed from the CDC. Things have been changing quite a bit as we've learned. You know, there's a lot of belief out there that things are being changed just haphazardly. Well, the truth is things are being changed based on our need and our knowledge. We haven't known a lot about it, so everything's happening very quickly. And that's been a challenge for us because we have to maintain a business, and we have to maintain taking care of people. We have thousands and thousands of people under our care as an office, and we've had to try to get that sorted out, and it's been difficult. We pretty quickly developed a way to keep sick people out of our office waiting room, take them to a specific place in the back to keep people who are well, and who are sick. Things changed over time. A couple days later, Louisiana issued a shelter in place. Of course, we are not. We are a essential business. But then the Louisiana Department of Health also released information saying, look, we only want y'all to see sick people, and if you can transition anybody over to telehealth, then do that. Which is different because we've never been able to do telehealth before. The HIPAA restrictions have been extremely tight, and it's really only been for very rural areas. Well, very quickly, thank goodness, the government picked this up. President Trump very quickly changed the Medicare guidelines for telehealth, for telemedicine, and most of the private insurances followed suit very quickly. We're able to use FaceTime, we're able to use Facebook Messenger, Skype, Google Duo, anything to contact our patients and take care of them. It's not optimal, obviously. If we feel like we need to see them and have a real physical exam and it's going to make a difference, we bring them in. I kind of took over setting up telehealth at our office, and it's been a whirlwind, but we're seeing people this last week. I probably saw 70% of my patients over a video phone, which is crazy. The shelter in place has been good, I think. Telephone tracking data shows that people in Louisiana are moving a lot less in our particular parish, Rapides Parish. There's about a 50% drop in movement of people and cell phones, which is amazing, really working. I think people are paying attention. The government has been very responsive. A lot of insurance companies are waiving copays. A lot of them are even waiving the deductibles. People can just be seen for free. They're not arguing with us about taking care of patients. They're allowing us to do that and just take care of people and don't worry about all the minute stuff. You know, if you guys don't know, but there are a lot of restrictions on documentation. Medicare comes in and audits, and they say you didn't do this, you didn't do that. They take money back, and it's always a worry. So we're always documenting fiercely and way over, truthfully, but that's what they want. And they basically said, look, we're not going to come back and nitpick you. Do your best. We understand it's a disaster situation. So that's been really helpful. It looks to me like highly populated areas are the big problems. You know, here in Louisiana, New Orleans is an issue, Baton Rouge is an issue. As of today, I'll tell you guys, this is March 28th, and this video will probably go out on Tuesday, so a couple of days. But as of today, we have 3,315 cases reported, 137 deaths. The number of private testing has gone way up. So the numbers are high. The mortality is high right here in Louisiana, and I think that has a lot to do with the location of the people that are sick, which is Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish. I think probably 80% of deaths are within a small area between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, just highly populated areas. So that's kind of just a backdrop of healthcare and how we've handled things. That might not be very interesting, but I will talk some about general stuff, frustrations on my part. First of all, we don't know what we're doing. You know, we're doing our very best. I think most doctors pride themselves on knowing what we're doing. And generally, we do know what to do in most situations. And if not, we can make good educated guesses. In this case, it's a lot of somewhat educated guesses. Treatment is few and far between. Even the drugs that we think we can use, there's a lot of data saying it works. There's a lot of data saying it doesn't work. And in the end, you're having people that are getting very sick very fast, and nothing seems to help them. So that's frustrating because we are used to being able to make some interventions that help, and I'm not sure that we can as of yet. There's a lot of stuff still out there pending research, whatever it might be, but it's been frustrating. That's not anybody's fault. This is a new virus, and we'll talk a little bit about that real quick. I'm not personally, I didn't vote for our current governor here. I think he's doing a really good job. I think that he's been out front of this as much as he can. I wish New Orleans would have limited a lot of their Mardi Gras festivities. I think that they didn't know, and I think obviously hindsight's 20/20, and they would at this point. I think a lot of the reason that it's so bad there is a lot of people had it during Mardi Gras and just didn't know it, and it spread very quickly, and it got out of hand. But I think that the governor's doing a good job. He was one of the first to issue a shelter in place. I think he's paying attention to the science. I think that President Trump is doing a very, very good job. People have this tendency to criticize, just criticize. This just leaves me frustrated in many, many ways, and I'll tell y'all why. There are a lot of scenarios on the internet about mortality. You know, I saw last week predictions of 1.5 million American deaths. I mean, 2 million American deaths, 60 million infections. And not only that it's reported, Okay, this is the key. It's not that it's reported. It's that it's reported when they know it's probably not true, and it's reported to sensationalize this, to bring fear, I guess. The only thing I can think of is that, you know, people are looking at this, some people are looking at this as an opportunity to harm the current administration, which is ridiculous. Look, whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, the coronavirus can kill any of us. Okay, so the idea of trying to push blame at things and that's what's being focused on. And that's frustrating because look, I get up every day and I go into work and I put myself at risk. I've taken care of patients with this disease. I get home, what do? I'm scared to transmit it to my kids, even though I think all of us already had it. Like I said, that's a whole nother story, but I get home, I take off my clothes, I wash them myself, I take a shower, and all that people seem to care about is doomsday. We're all gonna die, right? And that's really frustrating. All these models saying we're gonna have 1.5 million, look, the initial model showed 500,000 deaths in the UK. It was downgraded 2 days ago to 20,000 deaths, which is probably still over what it will be. Think about that for a second. The initial model was for 500,000 UK residents to die, and now it's 20,000. If it was that potentially far off, what in the world was it being telecasted across all of America? Why is that done? Why is that done? The point of public health is to help save lives and to keep people calm. I hope that the point of the media is to try to help us get through this and educate people about it. But instead, what they're educating people about is worst case scenarios. All I hear is headlines with could, may, possibly, maybe. It doesn't help, man. It doesn't help at all. The truth is sometimes I feel, and many of us feel, like people are rooting more for the virus than they are for Americans. And don't tell me I'm wrong, because I'm absolutely right. And that is ridiculous. This same model, like I said, showed 1.5 million Americans dying. As of right now, today, like I said, it's March 28th. Let's check the numbers. Right now, worldwide, there have been 29,848 deaths worldwide. 29,000 worldwide. And this ridiculous model showed 1.5 million Americans dying. It's fantasy, and it's there to scare the public, and it's there to politicize this problem. And that's ridiculous. I mean, it is so ridiculous. Like I said, I think the governor of Louisiana is doing a good job. The best job he can do because he's learning along with us. I think the president is doing a good job. You know, public health isn't just about lives. Public health is about the public. It's about everything. And, you know, the economy can't crash either. There has to be a balance between saving lives and people dying of destitution because the economy's in the toilet and we're back in the Great Depression. What's the point of, you know, saving every life we can from coronavirus? And look, we can't. People have to understand that. We can't. So we have to come up with realistic things that can help as many people as possible. I don't know what that is because I'm not a public health person. I'm not an epidemiologist. But I know it's not going to be perfect for everybody. And blaming people and pointing fingers and nitpicking every little thing. And I saw the other day a reporter asked the president during these briefs, and the briefs are wonderful. I ask everyone, I think that Dr. Fauci, they're all doing a good job, asks the president, how many deaths are acceptable? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. As a medical professional, every day, I have patients ask me these questions, and they're seeing this stuff, and they're convinced, many of them, that we're all going to die. And that's ridiculous because they're learning that from a dishonest media that is interested in sensationalism. They're interested in fantasy. They're interested in ratings. They're interested in getting people talking. They want tweets. They want likes. They want shares. And I just want facts. And I want facts presented to people in America so that they can know the truth. And the truth is, it's a very dangerous virus. It's going to spread more, okay? But it's probably not going to kill millions of Americans. And the great majority of people who get infected still do just fine. Yes, there are deaths. There are absolutely deaths. But we've had issues like this before. We had the swine flu, which killed many more Americans by this time in it, and the government didn't react. There was no national emergency call till over 1,000 Americans died. And we have to look at all this equally, right? I mean, it's frustrating to me, I guess. Who the president of the United States is should not matter how a pandemic is covered. It shouldn't, but it does, and that's frustrating. I've been a doctor under Democrats. I've been a doctor under Republicans. If there was a Democrat in office right now, I'd still be getting up, going to work, and take care of my patients. Because President Trump's there, I do the same thing. Any president that wins the election, I'm going to work and I'm going to take care of people. And I wish that all occupations, in particular people who report the news, would look at things the same. Just go do your job the same every day, because it doesn't matter who the president is. It doesn't matter who the governor is. It doesn't matter who the mayor is. We're all the same people. So obviously you can tell I'm frustrated. I think we've learned a couple of very important things. First of all, we can't be dependent on other countries for a lot of this very important stuff. PPE, personal protective equipment, I am thankful my hospital here provides excellent PPE. Now, we also have not had a tremendous amount of cases, and a lot of places are very overwhelmed, but I'm able to utilize the PPE to keep myself safe, which is wonderful. We cannot be dependent on other countries for that stuff. Masks, testing. Testing has been a disaster because we haven't been able to get tests. I tested people 2 weeks ago. I still haven't gotten results. They started drive-through testing here this week, and those results are already starting to come in, some of them, but I still can't get a test from 2 weeks ago. I don't understand, and that's frustrating. It's not anybody's fault. People, that's where people will immediately jump on and say, "Oh, it's the president's fault, or it's the mayor's fault, or it's the governor's fault because he did." Look, we're dependent on other countries for testing and technology, and we shouldn't be. We should be able to do this quickly, and that's something we've learned. We shouldn't have to buy masks and vent hoods and vents and all this stuff from other countries. We can make it ourselves, and we should. The other thing is, I'm telling you, at least from my standpoint, I think the American spirit is live and well. Our office got 25 hand-sewn masks from our church this week. My mother-in-law's neighbor mowed the yard of a fellow neighbor who works in healthcare and works nights and is exhausted. There's stories like this everywhere. Now, you'll never hear them because those aren't fun stories, You're going to hear only the doomsday, the bad stuff. And I would challenge all of you maybe to flood social media with stories that are good from this virus, because America is resilient. And, I've read history books and I read about how in World War II, everybody, joined together and we were all one country. I remember after 9/11, the feeling of a United States. We've been so divided for years that I hope, if nothing else, a silver lining of this will be uniting us as a country again and not being so divisive. It's frustrating, but I see a lot of that American spirit coming out. We have signs in front of our hospital that says heroes work here. People are going to work at Walmart and the grocery stores and the essential people. You never thought of a stock boy at the grocery store stocking toilet paper as an essential employee, but she is. We go around in America because of everyday people. We don't go around in America because of senators and congressmen and presidents and mayors. We go around because of everyday people. Nurses who go to work every day, sometimes without the right protective equipment, ambulance drivers, EMS going into places, not knowing what they're getting into and just running in there to help people, anesthesiologists intubating patients with the coronavirus, not knowing if they'll get it. There's just so many layers, but we're out there doing it. I don't hear any of my colleagues complaining. We feel like we're where we're supposed to be. I feel like I'm where God wants me to be, and I'm comfortable and confident that He'll protect me, and whatever's going to happen with me is going to happen. But it is awesome to see the medical community coming together. I've reconnected with buddies from med school that I hadn't talked to in years, and we've just been texting. And I think that if nothing else, this is bringing us, we're all families, we homeschool our kids. All right, so having our kids home is no big deal. We're used to it. A lot of families out there are getting more together time than they've ever had. And I hope that we take advantage of that. I hope that we as a community and as a country put things together and learn from this. People will say what they want. I believe God is always in control, and I believe that He has positives that will come out of this, and I hope that's one of them. So anyway, I'm just rambling now. So I won't be making many YouTube videos here for a while, I imagine. Just hook me up and go watch a couple of the old ones. That would be nice. I do have some backlog of stuff I'll be releasing for the next couple of weeks. I don't know how much more I'll make videos for now. It's so busy. It is what it is. I'm a part-time YouTuber. I just ask everybody to stay informed. I wouldn't read Drudge. I wouldn't read any headline that says possibly, could, would, may. Those are all speculation, pure speculation, and I wouldn't pay attention to it. I would pay attention to the CDC. I would watch your local government, your state government. Almost all of them are having daily press conferences. The president and his team are doing daily conferences, which are very, very good. I would watch them. I would watch them. I would not read what the media writes about what they say, because just wouldn't do that. I'd listen to the horse's mouth, because I think that that's where you're going to get your real information. I mean, look, after all, it's possible that this video will go viral, and it will bring me millions of subscribers, and I'll retire next week with my YouTube fame and fortune. It's possible. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Just like 1.5 million Americans aren't gonna die of the coronavirus. It ain't gonna happen. Sorry for rambling. I hope this gives you some insight into what my life's been like the last couple of weeks as a physician practicing during the coronavirus, as a part-time YouTuber, as an American, as someone who's proud of what they do, proud of their country, and proud of their government. And that includes elected officials that I didn't vote for, because I think they're doing a good job as well. I think they're doing the best they can. I wish people would be more objective. I wish people would be more understanding. I wish people would realize that the enemy is the virus. The enemy is the virus. It's not anybody in particular. The enemy is not a person. It's the virus. Stay safe. Isolate yourselves. Wear masks out in public if you have one. If you have spare time and you have a sewing machine, do like my wife and kids are going to do this week. Start sewing some masks for people, because I think that will be very good. I think for a while it will be good for everyone in society to wear masks for a while. I think that the CDC might be going that way soon. So use your time wisely. Enjoy your family. Reconnect with people you haven't connected with in a long time. Stay off the freaking news. It's just negative. It's just negative. I ask people to flood social media with positivity, positive stories from this. The negative's going to happen. So we can let it happen on its own and try to bring some element of positivity. Hope this video's been okay. I've just been kind of talking. Y'all know all the other stuff. Like and subscribe and all that. I'm tired. I'm going to go enjoy my family for a little bit, because I am off this weekend, and get ready for another interesting week in healthcare in Louisiana, in America, during the coronavirus. Thanks, guys. Stay tuned for more videos soon here on Paleo Hiker MD.